Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. How are you? So today we are going to get right away to work on some refactoring for my of this code, and then working on a couple little CRUD things. So CRUD stands for create, read, update, and delete. In case you've never heard of that term before. So we're going to just probably do a little bit of that CRUD work inside of the members spaces. So that will be when you click on this button here, you go to members and you'll be able to see everybody that happens to be in your site, and then maybe even allowing them to. We'll see how far we get with that, but we're going to start here right now on this page because I think I need to do a little bit of a refactor on some of the content that happens to be on this page at the moment in time. Let me fix my mic there for a minute. Okay. So this is obviously pretty cramped that you can see here, and it's a little bit bothersome to me that it's so cramped. And I want to kind of change this, and I want to also move a little bit of the code around. I'm starting to see a little bit of so I have this code that I created, but it's kind of just, it's piling up inside of the customer settings page, which is not where it's supposed to be. I want to kind of figure out what the heck this stuff is. And I've already done a little bit of this moving around of some code, and I'll show you that now. So let's talk about this table for a minute, because that's one of the first things I was playing with this on Monday stream, but I didn't finish it. So I finished it over the Monday and Tuesday. Now I want to show you what this is and what this looks like. So this is what I'm starting to build, that I'm calling a data table. A data table is just obviously that a table that holds a bunch of data and can do a bunch of different things. I've seen some really big and crazy data tables. I've seen some really small data tables. But one of them, they can kind of all sort of be a mess at times. And I'm trying my best to not make this data table a mess. And how I'm doing that is by just trying not to shoehorn everything into it from the beginning. There's lots of things I could put into this, but I'm just not right now. And I'm going to kind of build this thing up and as I go. One of the things I know I will eventually need for this is the ability to kind of like do some sort of fuzzy search in here, but I'm just not doing that at the moment in time. What I have done is just, it'll, whatever data you want, you just dump into here. It'll kind of just work, and it's responsive. So the responsive view, I freaking hate tables for responsiveness. They're terrible. I never can figure out a good way of doing it. I've seen a million different takes on tables, and I've never found anything that looks really good. So what I've kind of settled on for right now, and I do have to make one minor change, is that when you go into the responsive view, I get rid of the header completely, and it becomes a list. So if there were like 10 things in here, you'd see like 10 different items, but they all kind of go into this list view for the table itself. That mostly works. I'm going to need to add the titles into here, so that way it actually reads what the heck this thing is, because screen readers need some sort of idea of what the heck is going on here. I may be able to make it. I have to actually find some sort of screen reading software just to figure out. I think that my Mac will do it, but I won't be able to do it right now while I'm listening to the stream. What I need to be able to do too with these tables is, I mean, maybe I'll be able to just like visually hide the header, and then I can scope it to like go from columns to rows or something. I don't know. There might be a way of like where I can kind of utilize the table headers to actually be read as opposed to having to do titles. But as of right now, my best thinking on this is that I just have to put in here title equal something like this. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure what the right approach is that's gonna like work best for visually impaired users. So I want to figure that out though. Right now, again, like now by putting table like that over here, I think it should pop up. Might not. Maybe it won't. Okay, I thought it would. But independent of that, there's still a lot of things we can kind of do to this. And how it works. So you can also see these 3 little dots I have here. That's my action list, and I'll explain what my action list is in a moment. But this is just like the different actions you could take on this, with this row. I was going to have kind of all this information just out, but I realized that the more information you kind of just like have out dumped onto the screen, the Grosser it is, and the more, I mean, that just becomes more data that the user kind of has to try to like chunk into their head and figure out what the hell this whole thing is. So I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to just kind of leave like the, you know, the 3 dots here. So you click on this, and whatever actions you can take on this row of data, you can just do that right here. So in this case, I have an edit and a close. So they don't do anything right now. So these are things we'll work on a little bit, but those are those things. And you notice this here, this action is the same thing as this. So this is our profile return, our logout action. Those things take place over there too. They use the same component, which is a higher order component that I created. I can find it. Where did I put it? Oh, right here, called actions. I need to change the name to actions menu or action menu. So we'll do that in a moment, but you know what, actually, let me start that right now. I started with the word action or actions, but I realized that that's too generic. So this is the action menu. In here and say menu. And that'll probably break. Fine. Action view. There. And let's change the. So the concept of an action menu really isn't that crazy. Again, it's a higher order component because it uses a component inside of it. So the component that it's using is a drop down component, which just allows it to drop, you know, has a little, it uses pop.js to drop, to like pop everything up above a certain view, or like all the code, not the code, the HTML, just to make sure nothing kind of gets messy in there. But it really is just, it's a higher order component. It's a drop down menu with either buttons or text you can override in there. And then it's just a UL list with, you know, like a specific navigation actions class on it, and then you just give it list items, and you can either use list items of an anchor or a button, and the actions are either action button or action link, which just go to whatever, you know, do whatever you want to do. But yeah, this is a super simple thing. There's nothing crazy going on in here. Again, just this unordered list. And using it, we can go back into settings. There it is. That's the entire thing. So action link equals wherever we're editing it or sending it to. Update. And then your action button, you can just give it any listeners you want or any attributes that you want, and that will actually go onto the button itself. So yeah, so links are links, obviously, and buttons are buttons. That's why I want to have 2 separate things. Sometimes people kind of mix these things together, and you'll have links that do things, and you'll have buttons that go places, and I don't like that. There is a, you know, again, from an accessibility standpoint, I believe there's a like there's reasons why things are separated the way they are. Links go places. A link will take you from where you are now to some other page. A button does something. So that's what I kind of always tell my students, that a link goes somewhere, a button does a thing. So that's why I like to always maintain that distinction in my code too. Again, I'm trying to remember the fact that there are people out there who they may not have sight, or they may have low vision, they may use some sort of assistive technology, and when it says link to, they know what that's going to do. They have this mental model of what a link is. Oh, a link goes to a place. Button does a thing. So I always try to keep those things in mind, and I always try to make sure those things work that way. So that's why I have the concept of a link and a button. And again, anything that you drop inside of here will just go into this slot right there, and that's why I have it. I have this set up so these action links and action buttons, if we go to the action button, it's actually wrapped in, so the button tag itself is wrapped in a list item, so that way it gets taken care of correctly. Yeah, that is that for that. But again, we're gonna have to do a little bit of cleanup because some of this code is just a little bit messy. I was trying to make it work, but that's a button, or that's the action stuff up here. And again, I reuse that same code up here for my menu. So if I go to the admin page, you can see I have this actions thing here where this is what we got to change. Let's change menu. And you see the first thing that we're doing here is I'm pulling in this slot for the button. So whenever you give it a slot or you use this name slot of button text, that'll just update that text in there. So, or the 3 dots. So I don't want the 3 dots. I wanted specifically in this case the account circle, which is like the little person's face, the text for their email address, and then the chevron that points down. So this is one thing I hate about the material icons. I don't like material icons because they're a little janky. I think they're fine, but like I'm not a super fan of the design of them. I like some of the other ones better. I also hate how they name their things. Like this is everywhere. Like every other app I know of, or every other set of icons has chevron left, chevron right, chevron up, chevron down. This button right here, Google has decided this is called expand more. Why? But that's what they do. So just shit like that just pisses me off. Like it's freaking chevron down. That's what everyone calls it. Can you just get with it? They're like, no, we're Google. We have to be special. Okay, fine. Be your special little snowflake stuff. So yeah, I'm using that there, but that's just what I want for this kind of look and feel. And I'll probably swap out the account circle thing, like the little user face, with an avatar for the person once we actually put in some images and upload them. But as of right now, I don't have like the ability to even upload images. I'm not too worried about it. That's really a teeny tiny thing, so it's not the end of the world that it's there. And what else? So yeah, that's pretty much it. So you can see really here I'm just doing 3 action links, and that I'm changing out the template of the button text. So boom, pretty simple stuff. Nothing too crazy going on there, and it just works really nicely. So there we go. Okay, so what did I want to change in the menu before we go on any further? There was a couple of things in there that I want to swap out. So I mean, complete wrong. So let's go over to here. First things first. One of the things I did was let's pull up the button link, or the action link. See, here's what I'm not sold on at the moment in time of some of changes that I got to make. Take a look at this code. It's like practically identical. Flex, direction, padding, font size. There's no reason to have these two things in 2 separate places here. At first you might say, well, okay, it kind of makes sense to leave that all inside of this template since this is the template, and just scope it. That's where I started, but I'm removing that. I'm going to unscope this stuff here. I think I'm just going to get rid of all of this code. Well, actually, I think I'm going to move this here so we have the same line height. And I think these styles are just going to go away. And I think that makes better sense for what I'm trying to do. Make sure. Yep, everything is still the same. Okay, good. I did refresh. All right, perfect. Actually, don't even think I need that. That's not doing anything. But my reasoning for this is that you really, like, there's nowhere, I can't imagine a scenario where you're using an action link outside of an action menu. So the menu should just hold the styles for it. So yeah, that's kind of my thinking of the whole thing. Like there's really no reason. Like I want a list item in here to look a very particular way. I want to, but like this template itself is really just this is just a convenience template for me. Like it just kind of helps me. So instead of having to always remember the list item, which it's not that hard, but it's one of those, just it's an extra thing. So this works, I feel like, the nice easy way. We keep the styles inside of this, especially since, now let me pop open the action button. And pull this over here. As you can see, this has basically the same exact styles in there again. So there's no reason to have like this code in 15 different places here. So the only thing I'm going to do again is I'm going to copy and paste some of these extra button stuff back into here. So obviously we don't need the hover state. That's fine. That can go away. Padding is the same, 12 and 24. So that can go. Our font size. And again, I just want one place where I'm controlling this information. When it's a code smell, if you're trying to, like, especially with CSS, you're doing the exact same CSS in 2 or 3 places, that's a problem. For me, as soon as it's 2 places, I start to say, whoa, that's not good. Some people will say 3 or more, like if you're doing something like that should be when you refactor it. But I saw this yesterday and I said, well, this is probably a good place to clean this stuff up right now. Border radius, yeah, I do need to have border radius, border, and background moved here. And I think let's go over to this page, refresh. Yep, that is 100% true. TBD gamer. Yeah, as soon as you put that stuff off, you will you will forever put that stuff off. That's one of those things too. It's like, I'll come back to this later. I never come back to it. I just let it fester, and that will kill you. Yeah, and then same thing. Third time is usually the time I want to refactor. Just this happens to be a great time to come back here and just work on this stuff now. I knew I wanted to do. I had a couple of things I wanted to refactor out of here, so this was a perfect place for it. So okay, all those styles are now moved out. Buttons and everything still works. Yes, perfectly. That's a link. Let's make sure it works. Good. So links are still working. So everything still works. Password 1, 2, 3. I think that's what. All right, good. So we have cleaned that up. So now this stuff. See, so that's kind of the idea here, is that this doesn't need to be like, these are just super small. This is really like, these things don't stand alone. Like this little template, the action buttons and action templates, or action buttons and links, never stand alone. You're never going to use them by themselves. You should, or no, I shouldn't say that. There's no reason to. I don't know why somebody would. And it would definitely worry me if I saw this just sitting out in somebody's code. But hopefully, if somebody were to be looking at this code and saying, I need this sort of action button concept, they would end up looking at it and seeing this list item and saying, what the hell is that? And then they could kind of, you would hope that they would see the list item and say, okay, this has to be part of something else. But I don't have a good way of like kind of telegraphing that to people and saying, hey, this thing should not be used outside of these other things. Other than probably putting some sort of like, I don't even think there's a way of doing this, but like I'm just trying to like group them together. So this is actions, and these things all kind of exist here. You wouldn't want to put some sort of code in place where you were like, oh, look, an action link, if action link used outside of this, then throw error. I don't want to do that. I don't even know if that's possible, but I don't want to do it. Sounds terrifying. Okay, so that's nice. This has kind of been cleaned up a little bit now. So we got this code in here. Everything in here elsewise or other, bleh. Everything else in here is pretty good. I don't need this data element either. So just trying to keep this a little bit cleaner. Yeah, so okay, so that's good. That takes care of our actions and our action menu stuff. And you can see how I handled this. So I just created this danger delete um, little method that I put up here in this code. I commented it out before, but um, it's really super simple. It just says, hey, if this, then do a confirm, but nothing crazy going on in there. But it's nice how you can then kind of put the actions to, like, I can put these methods kind of on the, like, where I'm doing the work, whatever that work happens to be, and not have, they don't live anywhere else. Like they don't live inside of the action menu. All right, that's taken care of. Let's go and clean up this, what I'm calling a data table. Joe calls a data table. Go in here. Okay, so this is mostly clean, but again, like I said, this is the name data table. If you've ever actually worked with like a JavaScript data table, and what you're seeing here would be kind of funny. You're like, this is not a data table. And I know this, again, kind of the idea here and my concept here is that as I slowly build up this, like the concept of a data table as we need things. So I don't want to throw the kitchen sink into this. Yes, I could make it so that way the columns are sortable. Yes, I could make it that there's a fuzzy search already in there. Yes, we could add all of this stuff in there. Yes, I can add pagination. But the first question I always ask myself is why? And right now, I don't have an answer. Like, do I need pagination? Well, yeah, I'm probably going to need that once I have like a page that's going to definitely have a lot of stuff in there. Okay, but do you need it right now? No. Okay, then why build it right now? So even if that's 2 weeks from now, I'm going to wait and hold off until then. Okay, so maybe this is actually okay at this point. Maybe there's nothing super crazy inside of here that I need to get rid of at this point. So the way this works, just if you're looking at this code, is it is just a standard table. And if you go over to settings, you can see what I'm doing. I'm calling data table, and I have a template for the headers. So that just takes care of all your THs. You just drop each TH that you need in there. And then you can drop whatever TRTDs that you want inside of the data body. And that's it. That takes care of the whole thing. So in this case, I just need one TR and TD row, row and column setting to just do to loop over everything. So nothing fancy really going on in here at the moment in time. And I think actually this is probably clean enough for now. I don't think there's anything I'm going to do in here. And again, the responsiveness of this is just, it goes from like this view, which is tabular, to a list view, is like this. And there's probably some other stuff I'm going to have to do to make this actually truly really responsive in terms of and accessible. But for right now, I think we're okay with where we're at. Yeah, so it's just, yeah, I think we're good for everything here. Oh, all right. That makes that easy. Okay, so now the last one are these definition lists. So the DLs that I'm using here, these definition lists, just like for the credit card details and the billing address, there's a couple of different things I was thinking about with this, and I'm toying with several ideas. So I'm going to kind of walk myself through this right now and see if I can make a quick decision on what I want to do. So the first and easiest one is to just add it, like put this in a file somewhere inside of my SAS and call it a day, and just say this is like the CSS for DLs and call it something, right? So I could say class whatever this thing is, just, DL. That would be a terrible name, but I could do that. That's one option. The other option is to turn this into a component of some sort, and then I would just say, def list, and then go from there like that. Don't, and then the HTML and the CSS would just live in there, and that's the end of the day for that. So I could just use this definition list. I'm not opposed to this, but I kind of sort of am. I don't like the idea of just making components just to hide CSS. I'd rather I have two places that CSS go. CSS will go either in the CSS folder, which I think makes normal, perfect sense. So if things are more global, I can just put the CSS in there. I don't need to have this like a special component for it. Or again, the code will go in a component. So creating a component that just to hide CSS is not something I want to do. I don't personally like that that approach. So the other question is kind of, what is this? Is this just CSS, or is this something else? And that's where I'm thinking that this is actually something else. To me, it's like this is a little widget that I can kind of do some sort of editing and updating of content to. So this is what I need to, I think, figure out now. I would like the idea, like this has the billing address and then this update button here. So it stands to reason that you would probably want to do something in here where you say, you know, update, and then maybe it flips the HTML to make it editable, and then you save it and it goes away. And then it flips back, basically. So what would that look? That would, you know, okay, so fine. So the in that case, then it's not a definition list, it's a thing, right? It's some other widget thing that the definition list is just being used kind of as the holder for this code. That makes sense. And I think that is the route I'm gonna go. At least as of right now, that feels like it's the best approach. So what the hell is this thing? I think this is like an editable card. It's like it's some sort of in-place editor, but it's not really an editor. So I don't know what you know. It's like EditCard. It kind of looks like a card, right? Or it's not necessarily that it's a list. So, you know what? I wonder if this would be something that OpenUI Collective would have. OpenUI. I think this is the site. So this is really kind of a cool website if you've never seen this before. They're doing some really interesting stuff here, where it's called the basically it's called OpenUI, and the whole idea of this page is basically to I guess come up with names and like reason and like different controls that exist on the internet. So they have some stuff like, let's see, you can see they were doing a lot of work right now on the checkbox and the select box, but they have these other things in here. So here's a component name matrix. This is pretty cool. You can kind of like look at different UI systems that exist. So here's Fabric, here's Bootstrap, and then you can get like a name for like something. So Bootstrap has alerts, and like what else is called an alert box. So you can kind of see like the different names of like what different things are called what, I guess. So here's just design. Oh yeah, you can click on these different components. I want to go so we can sort by. You can see how these all, yeah, exactly. This is really useful for if you're a framework, if you're building a framework, if you're playing around with it. I always say check this thing out first to see like just what the name of something is, because you don't want to, again, going back to my whole premise before of how Google like names things, like everybody calls the little caret down either caret down or chevron down. Google goes and decides to name it you know, like what, like expand, you know, expand down or something. It's like, no guys, come on, everyone else is calling this something different. But yeah, so you can see like all the different names of stuff that they have. So it's really, it's a really interesting website. I highly recommend taking a look at it. So okay, so this is what they have in it for an idea of cards. And you can see the different places that you, and they're just trying to like come up with a generic set of standards for what this stuff should be. And I think they do report back to the HTML5 working group. Like, so this is I have no affiliation to this, but there's some sort of affiliation between OpenUI and the web working group. So that way, like, they're kind of reporting their standards and saying, hey, these are the things we found. So eventually some of these names and some of these things I think should become standard, maybe even in HTML. But I don't know, and that could be like 50 years from now. So, but there are some really cool things on here. So yeah, so this is what they say is a card is basically an image, title, text, and then other text. So yeah, okay, so this is not, and you can see how they have like just what the basics of a card is, and yeah, card with a header, large, upright actions. So maybe it is just a card. Let's see, Button's actually funny because I guess they're so easy to make that everybody kind of has standardized around them. But there's other names like, most of the names are still like small, large, tiny, mini, massive. So these things have some sort of naming convention to them. Table. This might be something good to eventually look at for myself just to get the table stuff correct. But where is the date picker? This one's gonna be this thing's gonna be a pain in the ass when they get to that. Because date pickers are so crazy. Switches, tables, text, tabs, select. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with just card. I'm gonna call it edit card for now. And if something better comes to mind, I'll switch the name around because it kind of feels card-y, I guess. Although maybe then I should, yeah. I'm gonna call it edit card for now. I reserve the right to totally change that name later on down the road. Edit card. So let's just give it that for the name for now, and then we'll just say what, and then I guess this would be like the title of it. Billing address and title. The word edit driving me crazy, but we'll stick with it. Card content. Card type. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But that's just for a moment. Deep breath. We'll look at changing the name in a second. Let's just look at how I want this to kind of what the experience is that I want to go with. Again, this is just something I like to do when I'm working with code, especially when I'm trying to build out a new component, is just like, what's the experience I want as a developer to use? So that's what my thinking is here now. Like, what do I want this to look like? How do I want it to actually play out? Yeah, I think this is kind of looking right. But obviously there's gonna have to be two sections to this. Ooh, okay. I guess there's two different approaches I could take to doing this. So the first approach is where I have two different sections, right? So I don't know. I'm making up these names as I go along. Edit card form section, whatever. We'll play with better names. So now in here, this is where I would put like the input, and then name equals whatever. So it's like this is like the uneditable look, and this is like where I do the edit and I flip it between the two. Okay, separating out the names for a minute from this. I think this is the way I want to do it. because this allows me greater control over both the non like the read-only state or the writable state. So by giving, I want to have control over both those things because, like in this case, like an address, maybe I want to control where like different things, like where these lines live and how where they look. Because it might look different. There might be something where it looks. I want it to look a little bit different than the form. Like maybe the form is just standard, everything kind of standing on its head. Item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4. But then when I get to the content, I want to push it all on different lines and move things around. I think this will give me a little bit better format or a little bit better way to do that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do those two. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this as separate stuff, two separate things. And now it's just a matter of swapping the two, right? So that becomes a little bit. I think that even becomes a little bit easier. Like CSS wise, that becomes. So yeah, okay. I think that's good. Now just the name of this is like something different, and then you can also do where you could just use the read only sections. So. Ah, this name sucks. So let's go with card read? No. Again, this is one of those cases where probably whatever I pick, I'm going to be stuck with. So I'm trying to think of this a little bit rationally for a moment. I'm coming up with a name of what this thing. So I'm using it as a definition list. It's like a headered thing. Is that? Maybe it is something like it's like a tabbed view. All right, let's go to Bootstrap. I don't use Bootstrap, but they have a lot of stuff. And that's kind of the thing, like even like this table I was looking at just to see how they did it the other day. And again, I don't always use this code, but it's just sometimes good to look at these things and see like what the hell are you naming these things or what are they calling these things? They have this content. Look at these components and just see if we have a name of something that we kind of pull out. List group. Like see, these are their list groups. So these names are not bad. No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's in this case, it's just they have, like, honestly, I think Bootstrap did a lot of really good stuff. I don't again, and back in their day, they were really helpful. But one of the things they've done really well is just totally being able to look at their names of their stuff, like naming convention wise. I think they were really good. Again, unlike Google, who has 3 billion people and they can't name two things together correctly. But like list group item, totally naming stuff makes sense here. Yeah, I don't knock these guys. I think they did oh, there's a newer Bootstrap 4. Yeah, and that's the other thing. I am also waiting for one day to just like go to like look at their like stuff and not be able to find any links or just seeing we've sunsetted all of Android. Just like what? No, they make money with Android, so that's the last thing they'll do. Okay, let's see what they got here. So yeah, input group form. Maybe they have some good form. It's not a form. Tooltip, pagination, navbar, navs, modals, media object list. Button group. Badge alerts. Now it's ooh, that's a lot of spinners. Scroll spy. Oh no, that's their scroll thing. Pop over pagination. I'm just going to call it a content group for right now because I think that's the most generic name I can think of. Yeah. Content group. I think that yeah, it's not a great name by far. It's not a great name, but it's what I think it kind of explains what everything is there, yeah. So yeah, it's really generic. But if there's something better at some point, I'll kind of think of it and then I'll come up with it. Hold on one second. My office is right next to the washing machine and my wife just turned it on. There we go. Content group. All right, and then content title. I'm literally, it's a definition list. It's just content group. And then, okay, but billing address and then yeah, and then it would be something like edit content. Or yeah, content edit. So okay, I think that's what I'm gonna go with for now. All right, so let's make this first part. First part's kind of easy. Second part might get a little bit more dramatic, but we'll try. We'll get there in a minute. Okay, so content group, that's kind of the name I'm thinking about right now. Let's go over to our JavaScript rebase components. I don't know if I need anything more than just, let's copy the data table and call it content group. That stuff. What did I do? Oh, I'm in the wrong place. All right. Copy this. And again, this lets me get rid of these styles out of here. Very much what I wanted to do. Group. Title. You know what? I'm gonna put that back because I'm probably gonna need. I'm gonna add some other styles to this whole thing. So, group and group. And we'll add a slot name equals content. Yeah. Okay, so that's our basic setup of this whole thing, right? So we have the slot, we have the button that I want to put inside of here. There's going to be another definition or another DD in here that'll also be for the content group that's editable. I'll put that in a minute, but let's just get this thing working here. Make sure everything is good with that. All right, here, content group, I think I did here. Change the, yeah, so what I want to do is I want to get rid of that, and this was a slot, so that is template, the slot, that feels pretty clean to me. Starting this whole thing off, like that feels pretty nice, like just easy to understand. Yes, I do remember you actually. Yeah, Terry, right? Yep. Okay. Yep. I totally remember you. Yeah, we met at Shore PHP. I used to help kind of manage that and run it a little bit with Yitz. I miss the days where I could go out and see people at places and things. All right, let's save that out real quick. Go back over here. See if I blew it up. Such a weird thing to say. It's like, I miss people. Now it's like the world is weird. All right, so let's see now what we got. That's looking decent-ish. Well, it looks the same, which is exactly what I want. Okay. So if I take this concept and just bring it down to this, it should work the same way. Content group. Or details. And that shouldn't blow up anything there either. Sweet. All right, nothing has exploded. Let's go back over to content group. Let's change this to edit for now, because I think edit is the correct word for that now that I'm looking at it. What? Oh, I must have stopped that. Yarn watch. I have no idea if that actually broke anything, because maybe it's totally broken since apparently I turned off Yarn from running. So, all right, at least no errors there. Oh boy, let's see what we got now. Ah, there we go. Now we got a thing. Oh, unknown custom. I know why that is. I didn't import it. From where are we at? Components, rebase, content group. Put in here. So, and still not working? What we did? Hey, all right. Oh no. We got the edit word back, but we missed the title. All right, what did I not call this? Template. Oh, I named it. Title, lowercase c. That should do. Yes. All right, good. So still all looks the same. Content's actually showing up. Now we just need to make it click this button and flip it to the edit screen, which I don't have yet. All right. How are we going to do that? I think it just makes sense to have, I mean, I guess I could have it as 3 separate templates now that I'm looking at this, right? So I should maybe have template and then Well, I guess I don't need to. I could just put it right here. The slot edit. I don't want to call it content editable because that's an HTML thing. So I don't want it to. I don't know if it would break anything if I called it content editable. Probably not, but I don't know. It feels weird. And then inside of here, this is where my form elements will go. Say form elements. Okay. Yeah, I think that's nice. So let's go here. Right. Let's see. Slot content edit. Content edit. That's not going to look exactly like that. So I think we're going to do DD. We'll do 2 definition lists. Yeah, so we have 2 separate lists, and then we'll call content, and we'll call this one and I think by default it could just be display none. So by default we hide this thing, whatever, and then we can kind of just do. So now what we can do is we can have we can put a thing on here. So at click, call it just toggle edit. We'll call toggle edit. And all this thing will do is just flip between the content group and the edit group. So that's really all it needs to do. It's probably so maybe I put a data prop in here. We call what is that? Data is like this. Return. What do we call it? Show edit is false. Yeah, and then okay, what is that style? I could do a style, or I could just do a change the name, or I'll add a class to that. I think I'll just do a style. Well, okay, that means I can get rid of this, right? So I don't need that there. I think I can do this with a style. Yeah, because it's the same basic style in both places, right? So it's like if this is true, then we unshow the edit, or we flip the two views. Yeah, before I do that, hold on though. They should both show, or this one should show the form, right? I want to make sure. Whoa. What a break. Expected token, comma. That gobbledygook. I don't think it's this. Oh, it's that right there. form elements. All right, cool. So we can see that's where the form elements would go. Okay. Yeah, I do this with just the style. Or wait, hold on. You know what? I did this actually in not my drop down. Where did I do this? I did this like the other day. Do it. Toast? Might have been the toast. The message. So I can probably just steal this code. Where did I put it? Yeah, okay, yeah. See, is closed right there. And then I did a computed property. Okay, that's the way I did it. And then I just flipped a class name for closed versus open. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to jack this same method here. So let's copy this. Content group, go back here. Actually, I'm still going to call it, well, it doesn't matter. We'll just take the, just for a moment. And go back. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I will put that on the, that makes, I think, better sense. Just do it one place. I'm going to put that right here, essentially. I'm going to put a class editing on top of the DL, and that'll depend which group then I then show. This will just make my life, I think, a little bit easier. Yeah, so I don't need toast type. Class closed is, we're gonna, let's change the names of these things just to make a little bit more sense, and then I'll go into the CSS after I'm done with that. So okay, so the class name here should just really be show. No, we'll change it to editing. Is editing, and is editing is set to false to begin with. Editing type, or no, just is editing content. This dot is editing that's all I need here. Is editing content. Yeah, I think that's all I need there. And then actually, I don't even know if I need, well, we'll keep it. Is edit. Toggle edit. I don't think I even need this now that I'm looking at it. Like, I just need toggle edit, which is just going to do. Yeah, because I only need this in one place, so I can just say closed. Is editing. Yeah, I think I can just get away with that like that. So I just say is editing. Editing. Toggle edits. And then, okay, so Assuming I didn't blow anything up, let's just double check. Yeah, you can click that. Obviously, it's not going to do anything yet, but I should be able to see if I go into the inspector. Yeah, this may be hard for you guys to see, but it says content group editing, and every time I click it, it either adds or removes the thing. So, okay, so that part works. So then, yeah, now all I need to do is add the CSS for that, which is content group dot editing, and then so content group editing content is display none. This is display block for edit. Right, and that's what I called it. Otherwise, I should be able to just say down here, group. The cascade may get me down there. Let's double check this. Nope. All right, hide. Go. Good. So I am now in non-editing state. Edit state. Boom. Shows the text. Okay, that was super easy. Let's flip. We'll also add a button in here, right? So there should probably be some sort of submit button in here. No, I'll make the user has to put the button in. Yeah, because I want the submission stuff needs to be in the parent. Okay, so the only thing this needs to do is toggle the text between edit and no edit, or edit or update. Edit, or what's the other word? Hide. Edit. I don't. I'm not wording well today. vf. What is this? vf not. If not is editing. Yeah. Cool. So that worked out nicely. The other thing I should probably do with the is editing in general is probably check if you even have that content group created. So maybe I can use this as just a grouping, but then if you don't have the like editing turned on, or yeah, if you don't allow a certain type of user to edit, they can't even see that button. So I don't have to like flip to different groups and things like that. Like I don't want to like have multiple pieces of content. Like maybe somebody can read this. If you're an editor or an admin, you can edit it, but if you're not, then you can just read the content. So let's pass in a prop of what do we call this? Is user can edit. Yeah, for now I think I'll just say user can edit, and that'll be a that'll be a Boolean. Let's just do Boolean. Let's do a Boolean here for this. So you pass in user can edit, and if they can, then they can see it. So then I can just do on this. I think the quickest, well, that would be if user can edit. Default will be false for a minute. Come on in. Hey, what? Yeah, I am. What do you need, bud? What's that? It's not going to work from down. All right. Okay, so is edit, user can edit, set that to false by default. So if user can edit, then they can basically see this button in general and do everything else in here. Otherwise, we're defaulting to is editing is false, so that is fine. Now those buttons should go away. Yep, and you can't obviously toggle out of that. So that's kind of a nice little approach to that, I think. Then I can go back into settings and I can say user can edit. True. And that one should get the button. Cool. So now I can kind of pass in the ability for a user to be able to edit this data, and it can be completely independent of it can be independent of like the box itself. It can just be based now on the users and what their work type is based. Okay. And yeah, that gets stored as read only, and then we should probably still have other checks in there to make sure that they should be allowed to edit this data, all that stuff. But this is a good. Oh, you know what? That's the other one I should have here. So okay, I maybe said user can edit is true here, but then I should probably also have it that if you don't have the slot, if the slot is 0, you can't edit, because this one, like, okay, that makes sense. It goes, I mean, obviously it goes to nothing right now, right? But it just says form elements here, so that means there's going to be something there. But here, it just blunk goes away. So let's make sure that if you don't even have that editable content in there, it won't even show you. It won't. Should it not give you the edit button? No, I think it'll give you the edit button. It just doesn't flip. So I think that might be. So if user can edit, it'll show that button. If content is 0, like if the content doesn't exist, if the template doesn't exist, the vslot doesn't exist. Yeah, that's what I mean. If the vslot doesn't exist, then it doesn't try to even do a flip at all. It just says, I can't do squat with this, so I don't know what you're doing. So, okay. Oh, how do I think I need to see. I have this code. Oh, that might be in my icon form. No, form group. Yeah, I never remember this. So here we go. Basically, this is just saying if this slot's post, if it has like I have 2 slots in here for pre and post where it'll do something. So should be able to just take that and then say what up here. If not that. I'll call content edit. Content edit. I don't think I need sub-0. Maybe I do. All right, let's try this. I'm gonna have to edit this. So if content, basically, this is kind of an exists thing, right? Oh wait, I should just be able to say if content edit like that. I think that'll work. Let's double check. Break anything? Nope. All right. So now, yeah, good. And this one should work. Okay, cool. So that one works. This one doesn't work, which you would expect. So I think this makes, I think everything here now makes sense. This would be, and the only reason I'm doing this, thank you, Terry, appreciate it. The only reason why I'm leaving I want to leave the edit button there is because I assume that if somebody were to do this, like if somebody actually said user can edit equal true, and they started building out and using the box like this, that they've expected content to be there. So like, I feel like if I hide the button, they may be confused. Like I feel like that's just confusing to say, if you don't put this vslot template in there, we hide the button too. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe that would make sense, but that feels oddly opaque to me. Like it's too opaque to say, oh, the like you need to have a template in here. You need to have a vslot in here. Whereas just it would make sense that, oh yeah, I can't click to anything. There's nothing there. So that's my logic for right now. Edit, click, toggle, edit, hide, show, do all that stuff. Okay. So that's working, and that got a lot bigger, but it also got a lot more refactoried. Everything is now, it's a lot cleaner there. So this is more nice, I guess, is a weird way of saying it. So, all right, let's take this and drop it down here, and let's put some form elements in here, and let's put the form and everything in here. So form. Let's see, what are we gonna do? Method equals post. Submit dot prevents is equal to what? What do I call this? Edit billing address. And let's go over here and just put a method in there real quick. So now I think we can, well, let's just go grab those elements and build this out and see what it looks like. Class equals grid for this guy. And I already have customer info or customer, what do I have? Customer something, customer.view register. So I should have some form fields. And we're gonna grab, what do we want? Address, unit number, show and yeah. City, state, postal code. All the way up through line 1. Yeah. Okay, we want this field here. That's a good one. Unit number, sure. I'm actually going to show this. So in my other form, I was hiding line 1, line 2, line 3, and all those things. But I think in this field, in this one, it would probably make sense just to show all the various lines. That means we can get rid of this button. City. State. Oh, I got to pull in my states. And yeah, the zip code. Okay, so let's make our form, what do I call it? Form unit number. Okay. Let me pull this in and then I will. I don't need all this information. I do need some. form. Oops. Payment method, plan name, plug. Okay. So here's our basic form items that we need. Yeah, that's a really good question. I'm not 100% sure yet how I'm going to handle the shift of the page because it could definitely shift a lot. Like it's going to shift a lot even just doing this. So I don't think you can see the questions. Terry just asked if the the editable version is going to basically take up a whole lot more space than the readable version. How are we going to deal with the shift in the page? And I'm not sure yet. Let's see how that looks. It may be super janky, and then I'll have to do something about it. But right now, this is going to shift down a lot. Or it'll break. That works too. What broke? That looks weird. Usually it's that. Settings view, unexpected to. Shouldn't be that one, but it could be. Let's just take that out of there real quick. That error. We'll potentially show a couple other forms not defined. Oh, wait a minute. I think it's this. That's gonna break again, I think. Yeah, wait, where'd I break? Oh, doy. Methods. Oops, there we go. Forgot a. Here, data should be there. Save, go back. Where did I break now? That shouldn't have that. There we go. Okay, that fixed that. I think that fixes all that stuff, and now register the from component. From. Oh boy. Oh, states. That's the other one. Okay, let's do the states. So just what I've done with states, I'll go back to this in 1 second. I think I have I got a states, I have a constants thing that I pull in. So if you go look at the customer form real quick, see this thing right there where I say states. Yeah. And so whenever I have anything that's like a constant that I know I just need in a whole bunch of places, I create kind of like this weird global constant thing, and then I import the constants that I need. So my states are right there. So now when I go back here, and I'll show you that in 1 second too. Yeah, so states right there. All right, so all that looks like is constant JS, and then I have just different exports. So I only have the one thing in here right now, which is just an array of states. But now I don't have to keep, like, I hate having just like 50 rows of every single state like inside your code. So you just create a little constant group called, and then you export the ones that you need. So if I had 15 different things in there that I needed, I'd pull those constants in. Here's my state lists. That goes right into here nicely, and then I use it, and then I save it out as neat. And then yeah, and then my form select has the ability to take options that can be just like looped over. So that's what I do. So okay, so there's my form select. So okay, all that stuff is now looking. I mean, still, it's definitely a little janky there. See, so it's like here's this, and then it's not too bad. But it might not be too bad because this is at the top of the page. So this might look way worse if it was somewhere in the bottom. Or I also might have to, oh, you know what, one thing I need to do. Oh no, I'm just using a button, so it won't be a problem. I was gonna say one thing I need to do is make sure that I prevent default so it doesn't like shift the page at all or that much. But I'm using a button as opposed to a link, so there is no default behavior. So I think it's gonna be okay. I think I may want to build in some sort of like, Terry, to go back to your question about what do I do about like the taking up a lot more space. I may want to just take up, I probably do want to make it more of like an accordion kind of feel. So it's like, so it kind of comes down a little bit nicer. I think that would probably make the best sense. And then just, ooh, yeah. And see, there's going to be like jank like that we got to change too. So, all right, let's start with two things. First, let's go back to settings and let's clean up a little bit of the look and feel here of this. So, okay, the first thing I want to do, I don't want to have these, I have these columns as all centered, which doesn't need to have all that extra space on the side. So we're just going to remove the centered from, I think all the columns I should be centered from, yeah. Now it'll just be 10 columns over to the side. I'll probably make it 12. Yeah, that looks already a little better. Well, nice. And then that should look a little better here. I'm gonna have to clean that up too. But let's add a little bit of breathing room to there because that's driving me nuts. Like right up against the top. So I'll add that into the data content group. Let's do var, do 12 pixels top and bottom, no pixels left and right. Oh, that's not content group. That's content edit. And since we do 8 there, let's do 12 here. Okay, that's a little bit nicer. Okay. That takes care of that, but let's see what else we got to do there. The other thing, I'm not gonna do that. I was gonna say maybe there's a way that if I like cookie the user so that way it always stays to like whatever view they happen to be in, but if you refresh the page and it goes back to the other view, that's your fault. Okay, so we have information that we're collecting nicely here. Let's see. Oh, the button. That would be good to have, right? Whoa, ooh, just go small. And this should be a submit type. Oh wait. Call 12. Small's a little too. All right, let's just say medium. Edit. There we go. That looks pretty good. I do want to put space on the bottom. Content group. Let's just do 12. So top 12, right 0, bottom will be 220, and left 0. I should do that for both. Here, edits. I can't tell, but let's go 24. All right, so I'm looking at the space like around there. Oh, around actually all of it. Okay, that looks 32. Let's just bump it really up. Really, quote unquote. Okay. Oh, that's the. Yeah, no, that should have worked. Oh. Hmm. I have like a 90. Let's do 60. I want to see if it's moving. I want to see by how much and if it works or not. Actually, I think I might like 60. Kind of just gives it a nice little bump of space there. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll go with 60. Even that's got a nice little bit of breathing room around the whole thing, and so 60 it is. Okay, so we have that working. We have that little thing. Oh, let's actually make the update work now. That should probably be a good thing to do. So where do we do that? Do I have prevent and then submit edit billing address? Oh, wait. Edit billing address. billing address. Log form. I always love it when it doesn't do anything. That's always nice. Like, yeah, you did something horrific here. It's not even gonna work. Okay, so wait, submit, prevent, edit billing address. Edit billing name, or did the file or work? What did I miss? Wait. Making sure I did everything right with that. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't need that, but we'll just take it anyway. Just to disable it, just to know that that part's working. Button type submit. Keep making sure I'm spelling everything correctly, because that seems to be my biggest issue. Disable sending. Okay, and I have a sending in here, right? Oh yeah, I do. Sending is false. Good. True. Missed that form. I might have just missed the edit update. Yep, I just missed this. Okay, and now that goes to disabled, so it's not going to send anything else. And there's our data. Cool. All right, so where are we going to actually send this data to? That would probably be something we need to know. Let's say right here. Well, I can do 2 things. One. Oh, let's grab our inertia content. Forgot reset. I can just get any old form thing. So here we go. Is this inertia post route, and then we just have to figure out the route that it's going to go into, and we got to figure out the form elements we actually need, because this is going to be a couple other form items in here, right? So for now, we'll be changing that up a little bit. So okay, so start sending through. Okay, I can get rid of that, and we'll call the route to this thing probably just customer address update. Customer address update. That'll break in a moment because there is no route called customer address update, which is fine. Let's go to our workspace real quick, and actually I think I could probably just do customer settings update. I could probably just do this all in update. I don't think I need a specific. Yeah, I don't think I need a specific place to send this, because it's all that, like, it's just the customer data that we're updating. I'm just updating it in like 5 different places. So like this is customer update, this is a customer update. If there's anything else in here, like it's all the same customer. We're just breaking apart the form essentially, update it all. Okay, so yeah, I will just do customer settings update. That's a post to customer update. Okay, customer settings. Actually, just call it customer update. Doesn't make it call it customer settings update. Just to do customer update. Oh, that won't work because I need the form also. So why don't we do that? Back here, go to create the controller. Yep. Oh no. HTTP controller, Freebase, workspace, customer. Customer update. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'll pass in like a type of customer update, and then I'll pass in the actual data. So something like, get rid of that. Edit billing address. So then I'll pass into the form. Form the route. So this isn't a like this isn't a RESTful API. This is a full application. So like I don't need to like have query parameters. I don't need to do any stuff that would be like important to somebody who maybe like if I may expose this API to somebody else or to another application that needs it. Like this is a full app, so I don't have to follow RESTful squat if I don't want to. That being said, I'm trying to just make sure that my routes and my names and my stuff are clean. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do is this. Type. I think that's how you do it in Laravel to make it nullable. All right, let me see if I have any null. Maybe I don't. Maybe I just say type and then make it nullable on my end. Okay, so update, and then you tell it what you're updating. So if I say null, do I want to do it that way? Or is it this? I would say nullable string type of. Yeah, and then, okay. So now inside of here, I can say address. Now I can kind of I can use the same update thing and just do different things based on whatever. This will also allow me to do validation for those particular pieces. Okay, so customer update for address. The syntax for the what part of the controller is not the the nullable types here like that. Yeah, this is kind of all new. Yeah, I actually can't remember if I do that. I may have put this on backwards. I always mess those things up. Hold on. I have a something. It'll throw an error for me. Yeah, this is kind of newish to PHP, where it's either it's the other way. No, it's definitely over in the front. Okay, so it broke for me. I love it. Just the nullable type things now. The PHP is getting a lot more of these like it's being more stringent with typing. If you want it, if you don't want it either, you don't have to. Which is I always like to. But I do like the way C# does that with the with it here, just because it I feel like it reads a little bit more cleaner, like string. We PHP folk always have to do things in a way that Yoda would read it correctly. Yeah, TypeScript is great like that too. Yeah, you're right. You could be just way more strict with TypeScript than JavaScript. All right, so invoke string null. Okay, so now I should be able to just, if I just die and dump here, I can say the type. And let's just grab our request form, or request input. Oh no, input line 1. Edit. Oh, let me refresh. Ooh, that's something I have to do. I have to actually clear that out too. I didn't think of that. So there we go. So it got our address from our customer settings and it has our new thing. Okay, that's good. All that, so getting to this form works. Woohoo! I'll then have to, should I? There's something I didn't think about. I made that form empty right now, but that probably shouldn't be. Like, let's look at this again real quick. I have data. I'm going here and now there's nothing and I'm forcing you to enter it all in. That wouldn't make any sense. All right, so before I go any further, where do I put that up? This, I should probably put that up here. So, right, like when I do customer dot line 1, I don't know if that'll break. Let's see what happens. Nah, I broke something. All right. It did not like that. Customer is not defined. Okay. Is that customer? That may break this even. Ooh, no. Hey, there we go. 123 Street. Okay, yeah. So this dot customer dot line 2 dot line. Unit number. State may not work. Oh no, got state. Nice. Look at that. It did it correctly. Okay, so cool. So now at least I have the. So I think that makes sense, right? Like you don't want to start with an empty form. Like you're showing that there's data here. I'm editing that data specifically. I want it to actually now show that. So now I can add unit number or whatever. Here's my new unit number. Edit, and then it's gonna show the information, the correct information. And there, boom. Again, if I let me click that again. It shows address is the same, so it didn't change, which is good. Okay. All right, let's, oh, you know what? Let's change this name from form because there's multiple forms on this page to billing address form. And then I got to go down here. I just want to change the name because now I want to make sure that I don't want to send over any data that technically shouldn't be sent over. So imagine this scenario where somebody clicks this button to edit their credit card, they change their credit card number, and then they don't hit the update button. They go here and then they press update. I mean, I'm not even taking the credit card number's kind of a moot point, but because you're not really, I don't update that through here. That's all done through Stripe, so it's PCI compliant, but I don't want to take any extraneous information over to the server that I don't need. So by setting it to the billing address, now I know that this form is specific to the billing address, and then I can do whatever else I need to do in other places, and that's fine. All right, so that takes care of all of that stuff. All All right, so now our hide and show works. Our ability to update this is now going to at least take it to the controller, and now we just got to do the controller work, which is based now on type. So, okay, so for right now, I can just say if this is obvious. I'm going to need to change this soon, but for right now, I can say if type is equal to address to address update. So this is customer repository. What is this factory? Oh, do I have the ID for this customer? Yes, I do. I just didn't pass it in. Wait. Did I pass it in? Nope, I didn't. Okay. I need to pass in the ID. All right, that's one more thing I gotta pass into this item. So in theory, I could grab. Oh no, wait, sorry, I got the customer ID already. I don't even need to do that. I just need to be able to grab the correct customer, right, to be able to actually work with them. So I should already have the. Let me try and dump this just to double check. I think I already have the form. I think the request already has the customer ID. I think I did this before. Yep, perfect. Okay, so now I can just find the customer, get that customer, or I can update by customer ID, whatever fields I want. And again, I think the only thing I'm going to really be doing now that I just saw that in here, this is going to be where I kind of just like pass my request validators to. So I'm going to leave this like this for a minute, but this is going to be like, what fields do you need to validate here? So this would be like, you know, validate have all. So yeah, if I do this right, then I should just be able to pass in. Should be able to just say customer repository factory update. I should be able to give it like an ID, and then just the entire form like this request. I should be able to just do something to something essentially like this that says, oh, okay, like just pass in the form, pass in the ID, we'll update this customer by that. If I did that right. Customer model factory mark. Let's see what I have. Back to the model factory for my update. Okay, so yeah, this is the syntax that I'm using for this. So I want to update the ID equal to request get. I gotta look at the table. Jeez, I don't remember what's what anymore in here. Shared. Update. Shared, open that up. Customer. Yeah, this is the ID field with customer ID. Okay, so get. And then I want to pass into it what? The whatever I call that form. Oh. I'm gonna make one other change to this. So instead of passing in that, I'm gonna say Actually, I don't know what. Well, yeah. Or no, just billing items. Billing address form is not defined. Oh. Okay. Edit. Date. Post is going to the total wrong place now. What is that? I think update address. Oh, no, wait. Customer update input does not exist. What? What are you talking about? Oh, I just kind of sent in a random comment there. All right, let's do that again. Update. I got an error. Customer update input does not exist. Request. There we go. Let's go to the request. That's usually what they want in request. Okay, awesome. So those are all the lines. Like that should be, yeah, that's right. So that's our billing address. So I can just, is that coming as an array? Yeah, it's an array. So then I'm gonna do validation and cleaning up on this inside of here. So so that means by the time I get to this point, I should just be able to say that. Okay. Now if I refresh in here, hey, look at that, 123 Street, 123. Edit. And that, you know, it's line number 12. Address, line 2, PO Box. Boo. Address 3. What is that? State. We move to Missouri. Update all that information. Yes, this whole thing's got a hot, like, go back, but fresh. See the change. There we go. Look at that. Nice and easy. That wasn't too bad. So yeah, I got to do the validation to actually make sure that somebody's not sending me SQL injection. Yeah, let's just do, you know, that, and then some SQL in here. No, let's not even try. I don't even want to. I mean, Laravel's going to have my back in for most of that stuff, but I don't even want to freaking think about that. I want to just fix it to make sure it actually will work correctly. So I need to take the request in, and then I got to do the validator in here based on whatever type I'm seeing. So that'll be the last thing I can do, right? So you know what's funny? I never use the validator this way, so I actually don't know how the heck to do this exactly. I usually use the validator by saying, by using the form requests. So I normally say form request, and then I just let it handle it. I think it's actually validator, and then I got to give it like a new validator. I got to look that up. Validate. That should hopefully give me creating a new controller validation logic. Here, that's what I needed. Oh, okay, I can just do it right on the request. Okay. And I get back the validated data. All right, that is nice. So really, it's just line 1 is required, and then I think there might be some other. Let's just do line 1 required right now. Get back the validated data, and what is that going to return? Update. Well, didn't like that. Oh, this is actually called different. That comes through as the billing address line one, or yeah. I think that's how Laravel handles it. Yes. Okay, cool. And it just gave me the validated data, which just happens to be that one line. Okay. So then I can just do that. I can copy this for all that stuff. 3, 2, 3. These are not required. These are just strings. Number string. City is required. State is required, and I think that's a max of 2, but I don't need. Max of 5. I think that's how it's. So line 1, line 2, line 3, unit number, city, state, and postal code. Now we'll get back all that validated data. Cool. And then I can just take that data back. I mean, I could just do this all in one line, like literally put the validator in there, but I don't like it. Oh, wait, no. I actually probably should break this up, right? Because if I put validated data in like that, and I wonder if I could just say 2 right here. See if I can do that. Yeah, okay, cool. That's all I needed to do. I'm just passing the, like, I'm doing the request to validate everything based on this, and then I'm passing in the validated data to this particular point, to that array index, because I don't want, I have to pass in, if I'm going to pass in every, like, if I'm going to have like 10 of these things or 3 of these things, even, it doesn't matter, then I can't, I got to make sure that I'm actually sending just validated data over to, like, just the array of that. All right, so that should take care of this. And if I just change this to this, I hit update. I'd refresh, make sure that's a bunch of gobbledygook. Bunch of gobbledygook. Perfect. Now let's just do the redirect. Redirect back. With stated. I'd give that a better message, but I think it's redirect. Oh wait, it's this. I was like, no, that's right. Edit. Update. Boom, updated. Sweet, actually, it came back here with this open. Did I just do that? All right, let me change this text real quick to something that I'll see it very, this is my address. Hit update. Comes back updated. Hide that, hide that. This is my address. That worked out way better than I expected it to. Now I hit update again. Oh wait, that's because it's expecting a string. All right, I'll see this. I was not expecting it to come back with that open at all. I'm assuming that is, I don't freaking know. I guess that's inertia doing that. I assumed it because it's a redirect, but I guess that's okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So inertia, because I mean inertia is not doing a full page reload. So redirect back is not a page reload in terms of just the thing going. Like it's not like literally updating the entire page. It's just, I guess, taking whatever was there and replacing the content. I don't know. It's magic. I like it. It's very, very nice. So I mean, that just makes that look really like so much better. I just put a timer on the toast then to go away, because now it just looks like, oh, let's just update that. Hit update. It says updated, and it still stays in this view, which I think makes sense. And then you hide it, and then it's still updated to Kentucky. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I like that. All right. And then we can do also here is pass in the success message. So I can do right inside of here. Oh, no, I don't even need that. I can just say updated. Ooh, that one. Updated. I think it's cap, right? Capitalize. Okay. Here. Yep. Okay, it's just UC first, which I think is just literally the upper. Oh no, that's UC first. That's literally just the same PHP string. I think it's just UC first. Yeah, I don't need to use the string class into that. Fresh, make sure everything's looking good. Update. Updated address. So it actually now says that. That goes, boom, there you go. That is pretty nice. It was just, that was super simple there to do that. Thanks, Eric. Yeah, that is pretty clean, actually. It was cleaner than I expected it to become to do this whole thing. But I mean, that's a pretty simple controller now. It takes the billing update or the billing information. We do our update to it. Oh, this thing. So it was expecting this to be string. How do I think you do. I think there's a way of passing in string or null to validators. Oh, it's sometimes, right? I think that's the. So I think I say sometimes. Let me just double check if that one's right. I'll just do it just on the unit. Yeah, did not like that. And it, okay, so there's an error, but it didn't even, what the hell is it doing there with that error? Okay, let's look at view. Page props, flash, error object, but it's not. Billing address dot unit, no. Must be a string. Okay, so that's not what I want. There should be like a Laravel sometimes. Yeah, here. You have certain value required bool. Include if. Sometimes required email. Only if that field is present in the input array. And the sometimes rule. Only if it's in the, no, see, because I want that data back all the time. Way to do nullable? Okay, so I can just do nullable. Okay. Let's see if this. All right, cool. And then I go back and the edit. There we go. All right, so that's right there. Line 27. No, the validation is actually done right here in the request validate. So this is the part that's actually going to do to make sure that this data is valid. It'll check if everything's null. Laravel also has built in the trim strings and like convert to nullable, I think, or something like that. So basically, even empty strings would automatically get converted to just null. The data is already like so everything should be validated by the point it gets to this validate data thing, and it's building up just the update array that is doing that. But I think what do I do in here? So in my model factory, I do some sort of thing in here. Where the hell am I? Is this it? This is my update line. So yeah, this update line, oh, so this is coming from Laravel too. So this part where it just does the where, it's going to just try to do an update based on the types that you're sending into it. So by default, it's doing an equals check. So this is ID equals whatever your column is or not equal to, and then it'll do the update. And Laravel will throw if it can't find this model, I think it throws a model not found exception, which I'm catching somewhere else. So there are a bunch of levels of checks for the whole thing where it'll say like model not found. If this data is invalid, it won't even get there, and all that stuff. Okay, I think that blew my mind that the whole thing, just that this part, like the going back worked perfectly. I got to put a timer on that, but that's pretty much it. But I think, yeah, it is 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, so I am heading out for the evening. I'm going to be back doing this same time, probably 3:15 or so on, I think I'm going to be back on Friday. I may not. I may be going out for tacos instead. So if I'm going out for tacos instead, I'm going to do that. But I'll probably send up an update about whether or not I'm going to be doing this. Assuming I'm not eating tacos, then I'm going to be, yeah, tacos are very important. Assuming I'm not eating tacos, then I will be streaming at 3:15 Eastern Standard Time. Otherwise, I will be eating a taco at 3:15 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, thank you for coming, Terry. Thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I'll be, again, if I can, live streaming on Friday at 3:15. If not, I'll send an update so that way everybody knows not to show up. And that's it. Have a great one, everybody. Terry, again, thank you so much for showing up. Anybody else watching, thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday and a great Thursday.